Richard Zane filling in for David Nuno on the TexAgs Rewind. Poppy's back Monday, but before he gets back in the host chair, I hope we're celebrating a Team USA World Juniors Championship over in Sweden later this afternoon. Before you watch the Americans take on the Swedes, check out this edition of the Rewind. We had Olin Buchanan. Not sure which hijinks Nick pulled for this one, but there's plenty of them. We were joined by Charean Williams, who ran down the 3 Aggies that are going to be partaking in this year's Pro Bowl. We talked to former Texas A&M guard Mark French ahead of A&M's SEC opener with LSU on Saturday night. And, of course, Billy Liucci. OB, what's the first thing you want to see this weekend?
First thing I want to see is... Does Friday count as the weekend?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the first thing I want to see is who else is revealed to be coming to A&M in the transfer portal.
Okay.
Second thing I want to see is Texas A&M knock off LSU in their Southeastern Conference opener. Expect for Wade Taylor, Henry Coleman to lead the way. And then the third thing I want to see is the Dallas Cowboys beat the Washington Red Commanders and clinch a home playoff game, hopefully 2.
They would win the NFC North with a victory.
No, they would win the
NFC East. Excuse me. Sorry, the NFC North's already been won by my Detroit Lions.
Yeah, there's a Freudian slip.
Yeah, that it happens. We will talk Cowboys coming up at the bottom half of the hour with NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame writer Charean Williams. We'll also get her thoughts on the college football playoff. The best. Olin, it's been a fun couple of days with me being a Lions fan and you being a Cowboys fan. Some friendly banter and back and forth, but I'm hopeful Charean will settle that debate on the controversy that was Saturday night once and for all, and I am happy to accept whatever she tells me on whether or not I should still be upset or not about that penalty, not penalty, who knows. We'll get into that.
Yeah, I'm upset about the penalty that was called on the Cowboys for tripping when the guy clearly didn't trip.
Again, we'll get into it. And we've already gone 12 rounds, and you got the W on Saturday night, so there's not really much I can do about it. 3 things I want to see. First off, I want to see Team USA's captain Rutger McGroarty get a gold or hoist that trophy today in Sweden. Bring a gold medal back to the United States. Number 2, I, like you, want to see Texas A&M knock off LSU. And the third thing I want to see, I'll keep it with basketball. I want to see a big game from Tyrese Radford. Pro Bowl rosters were released this week, and 3 Aggies received the honor. Myles Garrett and Mike Evans, the usual suspects. And then if you've been listening to this program and listening to this segment with this writer, this Hall of Famer, Justin Madubuike, earning the nod for the first time in his career.
Yeah, it's unbelievable the way he's played this season, double-digit sacks. And another one, I just don't think enough people have talked about him. I have an all-pro vote, and he's on my ballot on first team. I think he's been that disruptive on defense. And in the league's 2 best defenses are spurned by Aggies or led by Aggies in Myles Garrett and Justin Madubuike. So he's going to get paid after the season. He becomes a free agent. Great year to have your career year, and he did it. And I would expect the Ravens are going to pay him a great deal of money to keep him and not let him walk away to somewhere else. But if he hits the free agent market, he's going to get a ton of money somewhere else. So it's had an unbelievable season. Myles Garrett is probably going to be my number 1 on my list of defensive player of the year. More double teams. He and Micah Parsons, more double teams than any other guys in the league, more than T.J. Watt, who is tied for the league lead in sacks. But Myles has just led that defense with a team that's played and started 4 quarterbacks this season. You just can't say enough about the job that Myles done. Mike Evans is another one that's going to hit the free agent market after this season. I don't know how much money he's going to get, but he's going to get an opportunity to go wherever he wants. So he can pick a good quarterback to go play with, finish his career, and continue his streak of 1,000-yard seasons somewhere.
Charean, do you have a list of Aggies in the NFL for Week 17?
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Donovan Wilson's got to be on there with what he did with the interception at the end of that game, which is, as Olin's pointed out, probably should have ended the game.
Can't drop it because then you're playing from behind. Number 6 Kentucky's coming into town a week from Saturday, and then you're going to have to go to Arkansas right after that, which is they're not ranked right now, but they'll be. I mean, they've been in the Elite Eight twice in the last 3 years, and Musselman's, despite what people say about him, he's a really good coach. And so, I think if you were to look at this instead of a 3-game stretch, maybe a 4-game stretch, and say, all right, let's start off 2-2, and then we get LSU, Mizzou, Ole Miss, Florida. Then maybe we can get, now we're maybe at 5-3 type thing, or a 6-2 heading into that game at Missouri, and then Tennessee coming to town. So I think LSU at home, Auburn on the road, Kentucky at home, Arkansas on the road. Got to be 2-2 here.
Final thing before we let you go, Mark. What is the number one thing you want to see from the Maroon and White on Saturday night as they host the Bayou Bengals at Reed Arena?
I'd love to see them make 8 or more 3-point shots.
8 or more. So who are those coming from? Boots and who else?
So let's say Wade has 3, Boots has
Wade,
2,
sorry.
Jace has 2, and Hefner has 1 type thing. One of those. So get 24 to 30 points from 3-point makes, and I think that would knock some of the worry off of the shooting struggles that they've had, and I think that's a number that that's one of the first places I look on a box score at this point with this program. So
he's former Texas A&M guard Mark French, helping us preview the SEC opener between the Ags and LSU Tigers. That game, 7:30 Saturday night at Reed Arena. Mark, thanks so much, man. Appreciate it. 3 commits in the last 24 hours.
1 in the last, hour or so?
Yeah, last 50 minutes, something like that. And then the 2 guys that have announced via Texas Aggies United that they're locked in. So that's now 10 portal commitments. Nick Scorton was 8. Marcus Ratcliffe last night was 9. And this morning, Donovan Saunders made it an even 10, reaching double digits for Elko and company. And Elko's tweeted that locked emoji 4 times. So suffice to say, they're not done yet in the portal.
Well, they're not done yet, and this is going to be a busy weekend as well, starting now. So they're certainly not done. It wouldn't shock me to see them at about almost 10 more in the portal. Maybe I say 10 more. I think I was saying 10 to 12 prior to yesterday. I could see them. No, I could see them adding 8, 9 more. Honestly,
Wow.
8 more. I have to go back during the break. I'll look at these names that I think they might get. Yeah, I could see them adding about 8. I'm looking at. They certainly look like they are open to adding another offensive lineman if the right one's available, and they've had a couple visit already. They look like they're obviously still pursuing a couple of defensive linemen. Nick Scorton was obviously a huge one. We'll talk about that in a second, but there's still a need there with what you had out versus what you have coming in. There's still a need. I think they're good at tight end. Now, they still need to continue to add corners. I think Julian Humphrey going back to Georgia was a hit. I think A&M was positioned to land him. That would have been you would have thought he could have been a day one starter and a pro corner. Now, that was a hit, but there's plenty others we'll talk about. One of them's here today. So, corner, I think they might go as many as 2 more, but I don't know if that's 2 more not counting Denver or if you count Denver among that, because I do think if things go well this weekend, I do think Denver Harris has a spot.
Thank you so much for tuning into this edition of the TexAgs Rewind. David Nuno's back in the host chair on Monday. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on this video. We'll catch you next time.